Bahadur Jobawa, one of the most creative players in the world of chess. He takes on the world champion Magnus Carlsen. In comes the boss. He shakes his hand and Jobawa has a nice joke for him. Smile on Magnus's face as he gets ready for the encounter, removes his jacket, places it on the chair,
We're ready to start.
adjusts his pieces,
round for women's section.
and we are all set
Good
to
luck
begin.
everybody, please start your clocks.
Well, the players shake their hands and b3 by Jobawa, his favorite opening. Carlsen thinks for a bit and responds with g6. Bishop to b2, knight f6 and takes on f6. He takes... Well, what Jobawa has done over here is he's given up his bishop pair, but in return has spoilt Magnus's pawn structure. a3. And he's hoping that his superior structure will count here. Magnus, on the other hand, has two powerful bishops in the position, and this is what he needs, an imbalance in order to outplay his opponents. Carlsen thinking for a bit. It's kind of an unusual position with the queen on a5, also doubled pawns there. The bishop on b2 is missing. He plays his pawn to c6 so that later the queen can drop back. Pawn to e3. Now f5. The bishop is coming to g7. Oh, he's played it to d6, not to g7. You can see how both the players are now quickly playing their moves. Short castles and castles. b4, the queen comes back to d8. d4, Bahadur Jobawa showing that his structure is very solid here. And now Magnus Carlsen thinking about how to create counterplay. He pushes his pawn. a3 is lost, but he gets c6 in return. Rook comes to a6. And now we have to assess the position. Jobawa has to save his bishop on c6. And at the same time, white now has a beautiful pawn structure with 5 pawns on the king side. But black has this very powerful pawn here. Knight comes to d5. Magnus takes, bishop d5. Is it going to be black's outside passer which is going to create a lot of play, or is it Bahadur Jobawa's central pawn majority? Also, not to forget that Magnus has the bishop pair in this position. Well, the situation is roundabout even, and Carlsen is looking at whether he can take on f4. Jobawa is not concerned. He plays his queen to f3. Maybe this is not a great idea because the queen is sort of misplaced on the king side, and Carlsen seizes his opportunity to push the pawn. Now the a pawn is just 3 squares away from queening. Jobawa has to tread carefully. He cannot let black's pawn keep advancing. But at the same time, if you look at the bishop on d5, it does control the a2 square. So the pawn is not running away for the time being. a3 moving one step forward, and now Bahadur blocks it. These are positions where it's really interesting to see how a world champion approaches. Where does he place his bishop? Bishop on c8 has not developed, so has the rook. How do you continue? Carlsen looking to move his rook, maybe rook a7, preparing bishop to b7. The knight comes to d5, queen d8. Now bishop b7 is in the air. Also bishop to e6 can be played. Time wise, Jobawa is doing excellently. He has 2 minutes 25 seconds. Carlsen is down to 1 minute 41 seconds. The time control is 3 minutes plus 2 seconds increment, and a small glance by Magnus to Jobawa to just see what he's thinking about. h4. He's now threatening to push his pawn to h5. Will Magnus push his own pawn to h5? No, he's not so disturbed by it. He plays bishop to e6. Maybe Bahadur will push his pawn to h5, or he will decide to go some other way. He plays king to g2. And now the pawn comes to h5, knight c3, bishops are exchanged. Knight is a good blockader of a passed pawn, but it is quite passive on a2. Black has a clear advantage here, but it's not so easy to break through. Bahadur brings his queen into the center of the board. Queen to a8. Carlsen pins the queen and the queens are exchanged, and so are the rooks. Now we have just one rook and one minor piece on the board, and the king starts coming in. Magnus also brings his king. Bishop d6, king d3, king to e7. It doesn't seem trivial anymore that black is going to be able to break through. Now rook to b6. This is where Carlsen has to decide whether he'll exchange the rooks or not. He first plays his rook to a7. And Bahadur can bring his king closer. Yes, that's what he does. He's bringing his king to b3 when it will blockade the position. Black would love to activate his king, but right now it's not so easy to get inside. King d5 was met with knight c3 check, and so for the time being he plays his king to d7. Both players now nearing down to 1 second. King to b1. White wants to remove his knight and blockade the pawn with his king. That would mean a very firm blockade. Carlsen taking his time now. He's down to 1 minute, 55 seconds on the clock. He plays his king to c7, rook b3. And now, does he exchange the rooks? Because once the rooks are exchanged, the bishop can attack all the white pawns. Yes, he exchanges them and he takes king to c6. Now the question is whether the bishop can gain an entry square. As of now, it doesn't seem likely. Magnus improves his position on the king side, plays his pawn to f6. Now f4 is a good idea. Bahadur had his hand on the f pawn, but he hesitates a bit. He's thinking what he should be doing. And he plays his king to c4, g5. Magnus gaining more space, wants to create a weakness. And now Bahadur pushes his pawn to f4, and a great decision by Magnus. Instead of taking, he pushes his pawn. Now the g3 pawn is a big weakness, but how do you get in? Bishop to f8. And this is where Carlsen has set his final trap. Knight to b1. He wants to move his king, and that's where he notices the killer move, bishop to b4. The bishop cannot be taken because if you take the bishop, a2 simply queens. So that is the reason why now the bishop has entry into the position. It can get to e1 and attack the king side pawns. You can see Bahadur is visibly shaken. He had not expected this move. Carlsen is now very excited. He knows he's got his man here. Knight to c3 has been played. Pawn to a2, another brilliant move, and the bishop jumps in. Now he's going to pick up all the king side pawns. This is exactly what Magnus wanted. The g3 is hanging, and then the h4 as well. Out of the blue, Magnus has managed to trick his opponent. Bahadur looking at how his knight can now control the damage, but once both the g3 and h4 pawns are lost, it seems unlikely. King c4, bishop takes, knight b4 check. Brings his king to d3, take h4 pawn, another pawn bites the dust. Magnus is now a pawn up, but more importantly, he has a very powerful passed pawn on the h file. He plays his bishop to g3. And now Bahadur down to last few seconds on the clock. His position is also lost. He has to make a move now. With 4 seconds left, he pushes his pawn, h4, Magnus very quick, and now pushes another pawn. The pawns cannot be stopped. h2, h1, incoming. Bahadur knows he's lost on time as well. That is game over. What a finish Bishop b4. This is exactly what Bahadur is saying. He just simply missed this move, and that leads to Carlsen winning the game. What an encounter. I like how players are putting their pieces back on the board so that the next players who play on the board have it all ready. Bahadur shaking his head. He knew he had that half point in hand. Real sportsman he is, smiling. And Magnus Carlsen has done it once again from an equal position. He scored a win.